Now, England is not doing very well at all. They are currently getting thronged in the streets over the Henry Novak situation, but also they've recently banned popular Twitch streamer, large leftist, communist, terrorist-supporting, dog-shocking, brothel enthusiast Hasan Piker, known for being a freak around women. You know, very, very positive, progressive values. All right, so this guy who was banned from the United Kingdom, right? England banned this guy. He immediately blamed the Jews. So, you know, someone was like, hey, we should have him on British media. We'll ask him some questions, right? He claims he's the victim of the evil Jews and stuff. And honestly, it might be one of the wildest interviews I've ever seen. This guy got absolutely destroyed by the media. This is humiliating because the media sucks. You know, I just watched the Hasan Piker interview and you can see why he was banned for the UK. It's he's trying to make believe it's the Jews that got him banned for the UK. They interview him and the entire story just completely falls apart.
What I will disagree with, however, is the intentionality. The idea that October 7 was done specifically to kill as many Jewish people as possible, I think is incorrect. I think
incorrect. I mean, yes, Hamas literally decided that they were going to massacre a bunch of Jews fighting for peace, peace-loving leftist Jews murdered at a festival, a music festival in the desert, all right? So they murdered, massacred, and raped them, but not because they actually dislike Jews, of course. That's preposterous.
Ultimate goal of the Palestinian resistance, whether we agree with their methods or tactics or not, and I certainly have my disagreements.
Yeah, slight disagreements, mostly that they fucking suck. Palestinian resistance, you might not be aware of this, but they suck. They're losers. They've started tons of wars. They've never won any of them. They're fucking pathetic. Every single Palestinian death can almost be chalked up to the fact that Palestinians fucking suck at things. You know, it's a mix of things. You know, it's low IQ, inbreeding. You know, they take sex slaves. They're pedophiles. Not all of them, of course. Just like, you know, that's their laws. They keep starting wars, losing. They play victim. They start another war. They lose. They play victim again. You know, like that. For example.
The ultimate goal of the
have your disagreements. They killed 1,300 people. And rape people.
And he's like, what? Like British lib cuck is like, wait a second. Wait, you have slight disagreements with Hamas, terrorist organization, but they're horrible. They rape and kill people.
Of course.
Innocent young people at music festivals.
But the ultimate goal is to make the occupation as costly as possible.
The goal of Hamas by killing people is not to kill people. It's just to stress out Israel. Well, how did that work out for them? I don't know if you heard the news, but Gaza's been absolutely decimated. I don't know if this was in the media anywhere. So he ends up interviewing this guy, Hasan, who claims he's been banned from England because the Jews got him banned from England, or Israel controls England now too. Yes, the Islamic lobby in England, known to be very pro-Israel. So Israel got him banned, so he goes on the media and he basically just defends the October 7th terror attacks. Horrible, brutal rape and mutilization of women and children in the most horrifying way ever, which, by the way, let me remind you, caused the entire pretendicide in Gaza. It happened because the Hamas terrorists were so fucking vicious and brutal on October 7th, right? Which is pretty insane. Just an absolute despicable guy, you know, and as it keeps going and it keeps getting worse.
Predicate. You say that Israel is racist, it's based on a racist idea. Hamas is deeply racist. They're anti-Jewish.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
Average white guy in America, racist, fascist. Average Christian, racist, supremacist. Average Jew, Zionist, ethnic supremacist. Average Hamas terrorist, loving guy, loves life, doesn't shock dogs. Like, bro, do people even take this guy seriously?
I disagree with that.
Well, the Hamas Charter contains references to fighting Jews as a religious duty, conspiracy claims about Jews controlling the media, finance, revolutions and wars, citations of anti-Semitic forgery of the protocols of the Elders of Zion, and a notorious hadith about Muslim fighting and killing Jews before Judgment Day.
So you're referencing the 1988 charter, which has been updated since 2017, but it doesn't...
It was updated. Now in the new charter, it just says, if there is ever a tree or ever a rock that is a Jew hiding behind, the tree will yell, "Oh, Arab, oh, servant of Allah, there is a Jew hiding behind me. Come and kill the Jew." Yeah, that is literally in the new charter of Hamas. So, I mean, obviously, it's gotten a lot better.
Really matter, because the point of the
Hamas
charter
likes Jews,
or their opinions, do I think Hamas likes Jews? I think that there are definitely anti-Semitic people in Palestine.
There are probably a couple of anti-Semitic people in Hamas. How do we even take these people seriously? You know, to quote from the Quran, you know, Jews and Christians are the lowest of creatures, all right? Drive them to the edges of the roads, all right? But they actually love Jews and Christians. They respect them, which is why Christian populations are getting genocided in every single Islamic majority country. It's because of how much respect they have for them. Like, bro, how do you even take this guy seriously?
Society as there are in British society, right?
There aren't
That's right. There are a couple of anti-Semitic people in England, just like there are probably a couple of anti-Semitic people in Hamas. You know, the entire movement predicated on the murder and stabbing and killing of Jews everywhere. It's really bad, bro. It's actually really, really bad to make believe this guy's intelligent. It's crazy, actually. Bro, like, there's no way we could take this seriously. You know, shock, 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 shock my dog, I can't stop. This is literally television in Gaza, for those of you that are unaware, okay? You might not believe me, but it's true. I swear to God, this is Palestinian television, and you'll tell me that if these people are not actually anti-Semitic. Rawan, I want to tell him to pick up a stone, and when the Jews come to take it and throw it. That's right, the neighbors are Jewish, he should beat them up. If his neighbors are Jewish or Zionist, that goes without saying. Right? And this is basically indoctrination to these kids to become terrorists. Like, I'm not even kidding, right? He's a policeman. What do the police do? They catch thieves and troublemakers. And they shoot Jews, right? Right. You want to be like them? Allah willing, when you grow up, I will shoot the Jews. This is literally children's television. You're going to tell me that these people aren't anti-Semitic? Like, there is no possible way you could possibly have this stance on anything. And this interview just keeps going, with Hasan basically saying that the October 7th mass rape and murder is the same as the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, where Jews in a concentration camp tried to escape, right? No rape of Nazi women or whatever. They tried to escape and failed and were massacred, as opposed to Hamas, which had the stated goal of killing and murdering as many Jews as they can, you know, and it just keeps going. So, and now all of England is like, wow, holy shit, it's really, really good we banned this guy. This guy fucking sucks. The best part about this is this guy's a libtard. So we got libtard on libtard violence. It's my favorite kind. All right, it's pretty incredible. And, you know, like, he tries to do, like, the whole moral outrage shtick, which doesn't work on me at all.
So you would compare what's happened in Gaza to the Holocaust?
It's not to the same extent, no, but I have compared it to the Holocaust, yes.
Yo, so it's such a good comparison. I mean, the Palestinians started a war and lost miserably. The Jews did not start a war and were massacred in the Holocaust. Also, during the Holocaust, the vast majority of Jews in Europe were killed, as opposed to the war in Gaza, where there are more Palestinians in Gaza right now than there were before the war started. 1% of the population was killed. Yes, an incredibly comparable thing. But and I don't personally care or believe in, like, the grandstanding and shit. I don't believe in, like, the virtue signaling. But, like, dude, we are watching libtards virtue signal on top of each other. But it's the Jewish state, you know, and they're trying to out virtue signal each other. It's just humiliating. It really is. Like, the libtards in England can't stand Hasan. It's just so good. Right, and the best part is Hasan doesn't actually understand anything about anything. He's actually just retarded. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, this was just from last year, where he didn't know what the Western Wall was.
That I do not know. Like, I mean, I've learned deep lore on this broadcast about Sukkot, about the citrus, about the stick and the tent. It's just a holy wall. I don't know. Wait, what the fuck?
Oh, the Jewish holiday about the citrus and the stick and the tent? Yo, someone needs to update me on the lore.
You don't know either? How do you not know? You're Jewish. Why do Christians?
And he's like, I don't even know what the wall is. What even is the wall? Yeah, and bro is some sort of, like, genius in regards to geopolitical commentary on the Middle East. Bro, if you want to talk about racism, Islam is a racist ideology. I love how everyone's like, oh, Zionism. Yeah, right. Islam is a racist ideology that views themselves as superior to any other form of person on the planet. Everyone else that doesn't submit to Muhammad and Islam is considered a wild beast. It's honestly insane watching these people run circles around like they're insane retardism. So while Hasan Piker is going out there talking about how Hamas is actually super nice people just trying to fight for the freedom of retards who keep starting wars and losing, all right, suspected Hamas terrorists busted for a plot to bomb an Israeli cruise ship. Right? They obviously did that to free Palestine, right? This was all to free Palestine. You know, what the hell is Zach Polanski doing? Right, so Zach Polanski is the leader of the Green Party in England, right? The Green Party is the communists and the Islamists. It's weird how they work together so often. It's almost like their goal is aligned. And they have the stated goal of just destroying Western civilization. The communists refuse to have children, so they need to import Islamists, and then the Islamists vote for the communists to give them shit that the actual, white people actually worked hard for. All right, it's literally, it's a match made in hell. It's perfect. All right, so what the hell is Zach Polanski doing wearing a shirt to free the Palestinian terrorist Marwan Barghouti? Bro, England is so fucked. Who murdered 5 civilians? It's like, bro, what are we doing? Mahmoud Khalil, the guy who's about to get deported from the United States, says, free Marwan and all of our political prisoners. He's a Syrian, by the way. But, everyone could be a Palestinian if you just make believe enough. Please, we must free our political prisoners like Marwan. Yeah, Marwan Barghouti was the leader of the Tanzim, a terrorist organization, and he raped and murdered Christian girls. All right, so this is the guy who's being advocated for the release by Mahmoud Khalil, who's going to be deported from America soon, and Zach Polanski, the leader of the Green Party in England. Just trying to help you understand exactly what's going on here. Like, you just read this shit, it's insane. All right, so the Tanzim in Bethlehem, right, that's in Israel, purposely shoot from churches and holy sites in an attempt to invite a response that will generate harsh criticism for the international and Christian communities. Moreover, the militias are composed of criminals who rob and rape Christian women and operate in mafia style. For them, leadership means power, money, and Christian women. All right, so just to be clear, the leader of this group is the guy that they're campaigning in England to try to release. They just hate you. They just hate you and your culture and your society, and they want you dead. They will import people that will take your oak door and use that oak door as firewood. All right? You don't understand. They hate your culture, and they want you destroyed. Mahmoud Khalil is calling for the release of a man convicted of orchestrating a suicide bombing in Tel Aviv. Bro, and I'm supposed to make believe these people aren't terrorist supporters? And it's like, oh, they're not just terrorists. They're just criticizing Israel. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Bosses at a leading UK Islamic charity feared more than 350,000 pounds in donations to Gaza actually went to Hamas terrorists. Wow. No way. Really? No. I'm so shocked and surprised. Hamas commander Ahmed Siam held 1,000 Gazans at gunpoint to block them from leaving the Rantisi hospital, using them as human shields before hiding at Al-Burak school. IDF reported killing him November 10th, 2023. Hamas now admits he was indeed the commander killed as the IDF originally claimed. Here we are years later, and all of a sudden the lies are falling apart. All the propaganda is disappearing. Bro literally forced 1,000 civilians to stay in a hospital to use them as human shields. And Hasan Piker will be like, oh, these people are they're just really fluffy, nice, kind people trying to fight for a freer Palestine. Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. If you forgot this picture, then you don't know what you're fucking dealing with. Yeah, this guy, the Hamas terrorist that does like the ISIS salute and breaks into the fucking house and murders the grandma. Yeah, this guy, he's just, he doesn't want to kill Jews. He actually is a very peace-loving individual. Right, so all of England cannot stand Hasan, all right? They banned him. He's retarded. Everyone knows that he's just openly supporting terrorists at this point. And every time he tries to downplay his support for terrorists, he just winds up defending them way more. And it's insane. Now, there is a situation with the Henry Novak that everyone's talking about. Henry Novak, again, innocent man, murdered by a Sikh migrant, stabbed him 5 times. The police came, they, chained up the victim and let him bleed out and die on the floor because the Sikh claimed that there was racism. So the police immediately believed the Sikh, and who was still holding his ceremonial knife for religious purposes only, which he used to stab Henry Novak. But the truth is, Henry Novak is not an isolated incident. Heartbreakingly enough, there are many, many Henry Novaks. And the media did everything they could to squash this. The Netherlands also has a Henry Novak cases. In July 2020, 14-year-old Tamar, all right, this girl over here, 14-year-old Tamar from Marken was hit by a car on a dark road and left to die. Her body was later found in the berm. What happened next is deeply disturbing. The police initially told her mother that the driver was German. Days later, the truth came out. It was 4 Iraqis in the car. The mother was told they withheld the real background because they didn't want to create a Wilders effect. They didn't want to give Wilders political ammunition. He was the anti-migration party, so they just didn't want to give him ammo. So they were like, nope, it was just some Germans that hit this girl with the car. It gets worse. Evidence strongly suggests Tamar's body was moved after the accident. The driver didn't just flee, they dragged her off the road and left her like an animal in a ditch. The driver received a €1,500 fine and never paid it. Unfucking believable. Just like Henry Novak in Southampton, an innocent young person dies. Authorities seem more focused on protecting a narrative and avoiding political incorrectness than delivering swift justice. 14-year-old dies in a Dutch dike. The system lies about the identity of the driver, gives him a slap on the wrist, loses him for years, and only after massive pressure does the prosecution begin. Dude, and this is everywhere, literally everywhere. And this is what happens when the left gets its wish for equality of outcome. Because, yeah, if you start just arresting people based on the amount of crimes they commit, then you're going to have to arrest so many more Muslims. Bro, the black community is going to be in shambles. You know, shit like that. We don't want that, of course. So we have to arrest the same amount of Muslims as white people. No matter how many commit crimes, no matter how many crimes happen, all right, we have to make sure that equality of outcome, we have the same amount of people in all the prisons. And because of that, they literally have to sweep these cases under the rug and run defense for them on a political level. You are not nearly angry enough. And the truth is, we only know about situations like this because of the internet, because Elon Musk bought Twitter. In fact, Elon Musk retweeted this story. He said, heartbreakingly, suicidal empathy is becoming homicidal empathy. And that's basically where we're at right now as a society. The globalists, the retards that are importing the people into the countries and devising political systems to scam us, it's actually done intentionally. The purpose of a system is what the system does. And we see just the trail of bodies that we just have to watch pile up until something actually happens. Well, something is happening. People are really tired. Really tired. The fatigue is insane right now. So this just happened in England. A lot of people are very tired of this situation, all right? And the libtard, like, you know, cringe, you know, Karen expression looking at you like, you're racist. That shit doesn't work anymore on anyone.
This is a far leftist in the UK going viral. Who's this, Karen? Absolutely incredible.
It really is insane. It really is
Clip.
insane.
Every woman in this room.
Remember, she's from the Green Party. Just to be clear, the same party whose leader is trying to get a Palestinian terrorist who murdered 5 people, orchestrated suicide bombings, and raped Christians, trying to get that guy freed from jail. That is what he's currently campaigning on. Right? Understand what we're dealing with. In the West, there are people in England arrested for social media posts, but the actual left political parties don't give a shit. They're not going to try to get those people out of jail. They're going to try to get Israel to release an actual terrorist who orchestrated a suicide bombing. That is what the actual political party is campaigning for. The ultimate LARP. So anyway, she's part of that party. So obviously she's part of the party that, you know, wants Jews to get killed and Christians to get raped. That is basically the ideology of the far left these days. If you pay attention, you'll notice it. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call to Dragons on free cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
And at home has been subject to shaming in person or online.
And that's disgusting.
Based. Let's fucking go. Based. Shaming is good, actually. We should bring shame back to society. Unfortunately, a lot of these leftists, they really insulated themselves very, very, very well. Because, you know, they do everything that they're like, yo, women, all y'all need to become infinite whores. Spread your legs for the generation. And then all of a sudden, they have no shame for things anymore. You have to work a lot harder to shame them all of a sudden. Because, you know, on a societal level, they have been taught that actually it's brave and powerful to become the town urinal. You know? It's actually really empowering to be the village cumsock. And that's how it will go. And now all of a sudden, it's much more difficult to shame these people. But don't worry, I'm trying my best. Don't worry. I am driven and I'm trying.
It's horrible, yeah.
Yeah,
Look at that face she makes.
I think you're just proving my
Why do we still have women in politics? Why do we still have women in politics? I'm just kidding.
point. A man like you cannot sit and do a simple apology. I think is disgraceful. But on top,
It's so disgraceful. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say that you're disgraceful. Bro, could you imagine? Bro, she needs a husband immediately. Immediately. I mean, poor guy, but someone needs to take this bullet, okay? Imagine being a man, working your butt off, getting to a position to be talked like this, talked down to by this bitch. Can you imagine that? How far have we fallen as a society, man? Strong men make good times make weak men make strong women, and strong women make bad times. It's time for strong men to come back.
Yeah, we're sorry that we imported people in that view women on the same level as livestock into the country, and they're objectifying and harassing you.
I can't believe, as a mum of a young daughter, I'm having
That
to
poor little girl.
2026
Or boy. Listen, that young daughter could be any gender you want.
and make the case for me and my daughter to have the right for equal pay.
No, that's...
This is what the Reform Party stand for.
Yeah, bro, there is equal pay. This shit's bullshit. Like, no one's still making believe that there's a wage gap. Like, you've got to stop.
They are a party that has a problem with women and they need to sort it out.
They have a problem with women and they want equal pay. Well, here's how you can immediately disprove this, by the way. If women were able to be paid less money to do the exact same job, every company would only hire women.
It's almost like it's just not true.
They're not doing that. And so very clearly this isn't true.
I only really recently...
Dude, it's not true on every single level. It's like, again, the leftist mind only cares about the outcome. They don't care about the process. Which is why they're like, if you arrest more Muslims than white people, then you're a racist. You're Islamophobic if you do that. You don't want to question about the fact that, hey, but that religion believes in taking sex slaves. Maybe that has something to do with it. Nope, you're obviously racist. The equality of outcome is the only thing that matters to these people. So they'll say that, well, women on average get paid less than men. True. That is actually objectively true. However, the process is not something anyone wants to talk about. They're paid equally for the same job, but women don't take any of the higher risk or higher paying jobs. So yeah, on average, they're paid less because on average, they get bullshit degrees and do bullshit work compared to men. That's just objectively true. So she thinks that someone who has a degree in underwater lesbian butt sex should be paid the same salary as a welder or miner. Like, that's bullshit. That is absolute retarded. No one believes this.
Recently got involved in politics in this way. I'm actually on maternity leave at the moment.
And that is the reason why women get paid less. I'm going to be real here. Let's be honest. If I hire a woman, then that woman is going to get maternity leave. And that woman is going to, for 4 days every month, be in a really bad mood. And I just have to put up with that. That's just like, oh, well, that's just how life goes. Yeah, now you have to hire an equal amount of women as men, or you're a sexist. And you have to pay them equally as men, or you're a sexist. But also, they can't work as hard. They can't work as much. They take time off all the time, and that's how life goes. I'm sorry, man. I believe in capitalism. So I believe your worth is dictated by the free market.
I mean, you look at the Green Party politics, I think it make the country a hell of a lot more dangerous with drugs on the streets and no prisons. So when when the Green candidate is
And she makes like please, no prisons actually makes it so much better.
Are the Green Party suggesting no prisons?
One of them did in Scotland.
We know that if you're black, you're 2 times more likely to be arrested.
Yeah, because they commit double the crimes. This shit sucks, man. Like, no one needs to make believe this is... In fact, probably more than double the crimes. 13% commit 50% of the crimes. Like, that's a crazy statistic. They commit 3.5 times as many crimes per capita as white people. So, sorry. That's what I told you. They just believe in equality of outcome. They don't believe in equality of opportunity. They don't believe in the process. The outcome is the only thing that matters to them. And it's not, in my opinion, a lot of them aren't actually just retarded. A lot of them are just evil, and they manipulate the retards.
Why? Why is that? Nobody knows why.
Racism. They say racism, so they don't actually need to explain anything.
It's a mystery. How can you ever solve a problem if you can't say what the problem is?
It's not just Henry's parents that are worried about their son, and it's every single parent of a son, a daughter who's worried and calling them up and saying, make sure you take the safe way home tonight. Make sure you're with a friend.
Yeah.
Why are the cities so unsafe? They were so much safer before when people got arrested for crimes and before you imported infinite jungle ethnicities into the country. All right, let's be real here.
Because we don't know what's going to happen on our streets.
I know what'll solve that. Importing more people that could have been in the Taliban.
And I know for a fact that friends and neighbors are
I
having
love these people. These people are incredible. Like they're just actually fucking retarded. Like she'll sit there and make like her cringe expressions, and she'll be like, "Mothers are scared that their daughters aren't safe. No, it has nothing to do with importing Muhammad
those conversations with their children. And that is something I do not believe we stand for as a country. I believe we are a country that is tolerant.
In a just society,
Cringe.
you would just tell this bitch to shut up and get off the stage. This is
In a just society, she would have never gone onto the stage in the first place. I'm sorry. Society has failed to the point that we have women like that on a stage talking to people. I'm sorry, bro. Absolutely not. If she truly cared about her children, she would marry a very successful guy that could take care of her and her kids and protect them, and she would be at home raising her kids as we speak. If she cared about her kids, that's what she would do. But she doesn't care about her kids. She has a huge ego, and she cares about herself.
is the only point in, as far as I know, all of human history that we're even listening to this. This is such a colossal waste of everybody's time to listen to this slop.
Welcomes our diversity. One thing I do want to say is that the idea of blaming our housing crisis on immigration is absolutely wild. Do you think?
It's so wild. Bro, there are millions more people. You need millions more houses. You don't have them. It goes up in value. Bro, this is retarded. Like, she's like, it's racist to be mad at immigrants, so therefore, we can't use our brains.
That if we lock down our borders, we're going to solve the housing crisis.
Well,
Is that
What a retarded hag. It wouldn't solve the housing crisis, but it would make it easier to address.
going to
the
solve
thing is, the more people...
You know, like, the funny thing is, mass deportations would help the housing issue because now all of a sudden you'd have a lot less people that need houses. It would help traffic problems, or it would help stabbing problems. It would help fucking turf wars and shit like that between rival religions and ethnicities that fucking hate each other. Because they came when the jungle people came from the fucking jungle and they hated each other. You know, they brought their animosity with them to our great nations. All right, you know, that shit sucks, and we shouldn't need to deal with that.
you have in a country, the more houses you're going to need. I know it might sound...
He's really good at explaining things like this, isn't he?
Yeah, because it's true.
You using immigration on the issue of housing, I think is absolutely.
Are you saying it has no impact on housing?
I think Andy wanted to come in.
Let's,
No,
do you want to just ask that question for
Yeah,
us? Do you think it has
Does
no impact on
immigration
housing?
have an effect on housing?
Look at all these people. Every single person knows that obviously if there's more people in the country, then it's going to have an impact on housing. Every single person knows, and they're just staring at her. And they're like, will you lie to our faces?
Whoever lives in this country has an impact on housing, of course.
Yeah. So why the fuck should we import people that shouldn't be in this country?
All right.
The numbers of people in a country, that's not
So
necessarily
yes.
to do with immigration.
But it has nothing to do with immigration. The number of people in the country has nothing to do with immigration.
Oh my God. It's actually insane how much I hate these people. I cannot even express how much I hate them. Like, these are the worst people of any civilization in time, in all of our time. There is,
Strong women? True. True.
I cannot even say it. You know what? I will not even say anymore. I will not.
Yeah, bro, it's terrifying. Listen, man, everyone thinks you can't criticize the Jews. Bro, you can't criticize women. Everyone criticizes the Jews. But for some reason, we have elevated the retard class to just sit there, make condescending faces at you, spew their bullshit, which they know is not true, but because they think with their emotions instead of their brains, all of a sudden we just have to, you know, make believe this shit exists. The reality is, it's not women that's the issue, obviously. It's liberal women that's the issue. Obviously. Bro, they need God. They need God immediately. That is the diagnosis I've made. Okay, moving on.